great. And then we can talk later about this week, maybe whenever you have time to talk a little bit about the one for feeding. And I will tell you a little bit about some ideas that I have and the internal things. But I think it's going to be great. And I think we're going to have a great impact.
Good.
Yes. I think that that's the main goal. People are going to love it. Yes. So I'm really excited about that. So yes, we are. So then we are here already with Sharon, and also we are with Diana. She's also our IT expert.
Hello.
She knows everything. She's always there to help you, and I'm like, oh my God, Diana! And she always is really, really, really nice. She's really proactive in our chapter. How you feeling, Diana, today?
Yeah, better. Yeah, I'm better. Yeah, it just
good.
it was very like scary, but I'm better.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, she was kind of like a little under the weather, not feeling good yesterday. So hopefully, yeah.
Hope you feel better.
So I'm gonna be. There you go. Hopefully.
By the way, I'm recording.
Yeah. I will let people know at the beginning that we're gonna be recording. Hopefully, no one has any objection with that. So hopefully we can share it later. And I think this is good. For people who are probably are not able to attend. I know Janine wanted to attend, but then she said that she had like a class at this time, so then she's not able. So then she will love to be part of this at least later. Trying to watch the recording. So then I think that that's nice. So I have so far, like 22 people are registered. So then we'll see how it goes. And then, of course, some people may join later, and then we can take from there. So
will I begin first?
Well, I can introduce you. And then I'm here. I have your presentation, so even I can. I don't know if you wanna, Diana. Can London present? Can she operate that? I don't know how you wanna do it, London. If you wanna share your.
I really think she can present now on the right side on the right bottom.
You wanna maybe even try a little bit, London, now to see if.
Okay, let me see. It says, sorry, an error has occurred when screen sharing.
No.
I may not have the capability.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I can still.
Can you try again, like select your entire screen or a window? Maybe like select like different one.
Let's see. Is there a ability to make me a presenter?
Yes.
Can we try to do that?
In the worst case, she can log in with our Meet. She can log in with our login and password.
Yeah, that's one. Or the other one is also I can present for London. I can be like operating, and then you can just say next, and I just move it. That would be the other one.
Yeah, that would be better if we can't do it.
Yeah. So because I haven't even here, so then. So are you trying now, London, to do it, or it's not working? Did you?
Yeah, I was trying to. It said there's an option here that says present now,
Yes,
Yeah.
that one. Yep, that one.
and it's telling me that I can't share my screen.
Okay, so then maybe, okay, so let me try this. Okay, so I'm there. I'm presenting now.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna just jump and do this. Yep. Can you see it?
Yes.
Let me see. This will let you take a. Huh. I was able to see it for a second. Let's see. Change layout. Okay, yeah, now I see it.
You can see it?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I think that that will be one way of doing it. Yep.
So your
So I just stopped sharing.
your meeting is 2 hours, right?
Yeah, but then as I said, I know of course you have obligations, so then you don't have to stay. We're just planning like the first portion with you as I send you with the with our agenda, kind of going like from 10 to 10:40. It will be like the presentation. Then we will have like 15 minutes for Q&A, and then at 11 we're actually starting our business committee course. So then for that portion you don't have to stay, of course.
Okay, I probably will hop off.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Then Londo, again, thanks you for making this happen. This is actually you have no idea how excited I am. It's like I know that this topic is so relevant, and I know that a lot of our members want it, desperately.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm very excited. I
Yeah,
really am.
yeah,
I really appreciate you reaching out.
yeah. I'm
This is
glad that we're
really,
making this happen.
yeah, me too. Me too.
Hi, Rev.
I seen you IT guy.
How are you doing? You guys see me and hear me okay?
Yes, we can see you. How are you?
Good, good. I'm kind of new to the group. I know Dave
Yeah,
Rice, so he invited me
that's
here.
so. Who invited you, Dana?
Dave Rice.
Oh, David, excellent, excellent. So yeah, actually, we're really
Oh,
excited
you
that
guys are
you
breaking.
are able
Yeah,
to join us. And then we're just waiting right now for some more members to join us. Um,
cool.
and then, of course, we will talk later a little bit about, what we do, what type of program do we have, what opportunities do we have to see if this is something that you're interested, and if it's a good fit. We totally understand and we welcome anyone with any background, with the level that you want to get involved. We have some members that are really active, other members that they just stop for a little bit and then they come back. So it's always good to know that we are always here. We're always here to give you like an opportunity to give back to society, and then to learn about how we can advocate, and then
Cool.
again be grateful for what we have. So I think that that's really important. So that's what we try to do here in our chapter. And then you will find out we're really diverse, which I love that about our chapter. As you can tell from my accent, I am a foreign person, so I was born and raised in Colombia. And so and Diana is from Ukraine. So we have like a pretty diverse members that are really passionate about the United Nations. So that's kind of nice. So yeah, cool. So I'm hoping and that Dave actually is going to be able to join us.
Yeah, he sent me a reminder this morning, so I
Oh,
hope
okay.
so.
There you go.
It
So
would be
then
funny
that's
if
the
he
answer.
reminded me
Yes.
that didn't show up himself, right?
I asked him to invite you. I saw your message on Meetup. Remember on Meetup you wrote
Cool,
that you
cool.
would like to make it more active, and we really need somebody like you there.
Nice. There you go.
That's cool. That's cool. So you guys are coming through a little bit choppy. I'm assuming it's my link. Is everybody else hearing everybody else pretty clearly?
I think it's maybe me. I'm kind of having problems with internet, and then the good thing is that Diana is also here. Oh, Dave, there you go. You join us. Dave,
Well,
we
it looks
can
like I'm
hear you.
seeing other.
You're on mute. There you
I'm
go.
seeing other freeze up a little bit too. I don't think it's just you, Isabel.
Oh, okay.
And one time I was on a call and everybody could hear me okay, which was good, but they were all coming through very choppy. So it's probably still my connection, but at least my
Oh.
audio wasn't horrible.
No, your audio is perfect.
But I may
can
try
hear
to.
you really clear.
Okay, that's
And I was
good.
talking earlier with Sharon. I can hear her clear as well. London as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. Like I don't know if Google Meet is different, but like sometimes when you talk, I can see your video, but then everybody else freezes, and I'm not sure if that's by design, where it kind of like mutes the video temporarily while the talker's talking.
No,
But,
I
like,
can. You're talking right now, and it's like in real time. I can see you talking,
Okay.
and then yeah.
Because I see like Dave frozen, London's frozen.
Oh wow!
But you're
Yeah,
not.
those are
So
frozen
that's,
for me. Yeah. Do you think maybe it's
Yeah.
something with your internet connection?
yeah, probably.
Maybe. So we just
Yes.
have a.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to switch from my Wi-Fi. I'm gonna try to switch from Wi-Fi to my cellular connection on my computer. If I drop out, I'll jump right back in.
Okay, sounds good. I have
Good
a
to see you, Red.
949 ending in 21. Is that Grady? Grady, is that you? No.
Yeah, can people change their name on their tagline?
Not sure.
If they are muted, they can press *6 on their phone.
Yeah, I'm not
No,
sure,
but it's to name them.
Red, if they can change
Name them.
names.
Yeah, to change names. Oh, there we go, Sharon. We can see you. But you're mute. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about
Yeah, I don't see that name change ability.
No, she has to unmute herself. That's for privacy reason. If person is muted, only her, she can unmute herself. Sharon, can you unmute
Yeah, I'm gonna switch
yourself?
to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I'm unmuted. I just didn't want you to hear the sound of me getting another cup of coffee or getting something in the sink.
okay, perfect. So I have your presentation here ready.
Okay, I just switched from my Wi-Fi to my cellular. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
And you guys seem a little better too. I see more people moving as opposed to people freezing up. So that's good.
Hi.
This is a good alternative, Dave, to my problem.
That sounds good.
I asked my company, I said, they said, if I don't use the cellular part of my laptop for like 6 months, it'll disconnect me. So I'll just be like, yeah, I was trying to use it occasionally. So just so I wouldn't get disconnected.
Oh, wow. That's kind of weird. I never heard of that.
Yeah, I think it's like a pool of minutes. So I think it's all lumped together.
Got it.
And it's all good practice for me to learn these different platforms. Use that as an excuse.
Oh, Grady's here.
Grady.
All right.
And we have Cameron and Greta. Hi, guys. And then we have Amber. Hi, Amber. How are you? Can you hear us? Hey. And we still have Sharon. Go, Sharon. Sharon was like a early bird.
Hiding out.
Yes. And
See, that's a new feature. People are joining.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, Isabel. Good to see you again.
Same here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's really good to see you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's a little noisy at my house, so I'm going to mute. And
Definitely. No worries. We really appreciate that consideration.
well, thank you. Thank you for having London with us. That's going to be very exciting.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
busy
Thank
week.
you.
Yeah, good to see you,
I
London.
know. I have to admit, with this type of technology, we're being kind of spoiled. I was kind of
Oh.
saying, London, can I have you? This is amazing. You know what I mean? This is something that I never thought. But now it's possible. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, guys, once we start, I'm gonna talk a little bit about London's bio, and then you're gonna realize that she's in a different city right now, different location. So it's kind of nice. We are kind of really lucky to have her today with us. Okay, so it's 10:02. I'm gonna wait a little bit more, like just 3 minutes, and then we're gonna start at 10:05 to give folks to hop on and then get into our meeting from today. So then this is a good time to go and grab your coffee. If you need to eat something, this is a good time to do like those little arrangements before starting our meeting. So then this is the moment.
So how many calls like this have you done, Isabel?
Like calls like this, like with London or
Just since things went crazy with the COVID lockdown.
Ooh, okay. So we did,
meeting online.
yeah. So then we did with our chapter, we did some consultations. So we had that. So then we have like a consultation with the board. Then we have a consultation with the Fullerton campus, and then we have another consultation with the UN Women in Orange County chapter. But they were all virtually, so that we were all like using the platform. And then later we have a virtual coffee talk, which was with Grandma's House of Hope. So we're talking about how the pandemic was actually affecting, the residents and then the people who are being affected by domestic violence, and then how we can actually even help them during this crisis. So then we have a coffee talk with them, and then we're planning for having one next coffee talk, which is going to be also really relevant before the elections, and then that one is happening in September 22nd. So more details. Tell me.
You mentioned Laura's house. Is that what you said, Laura's house?
No, Grandma's House of Hope.
Grandma's House of
Grandma's
Hope.
house. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of
Grandma's
Laura's
House.
house. My wife has volunteered for them, but they're similar.
Oh, okay.
With
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Yeah, actually, I was not aware of that one. So then, yes, we did actually Grandma's House of Hope, but then, they're part of our Council of Organizations. So we like partnering with local organizations that they are aligned with, of course, the Sustainable Development Goals and our mission. So then that's something that we always try to do, finding common ground. And we're overlapping, with a lot of problems, so we should work together. I think that's kind of being like one of my main things, trying to mobilize more, like partner more. So then that's being for now. I'm trying to think, and then of course we have some of our meetings, internal meetings for the board meetings. We are actually right now even trying to plan our celebration. UNA, the United Nations, is turning 25th this year, which is really amazing and nice. And it's going to be a special and kind of interesting way of celebrating. So then before we were going to have a gala at Chapman University, but now that's not happening, of course, because of the social distance. So then what we're going to do instead, we're still celebrating. It's a milestone. We need to celebrate. We need just to be more creative and find ways to celebrate things in life, but we're still doing it. So then we're going to have an event on the 24th, which is October 24th at 11 a.m. We're going to start our program. So then that's also something exciting that we have going on.
Like a virtual gala of sorts.
Yes, kind of, yes. And then we will invite people even to, gather your champagne at this time, and then let's toast, raise our,
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So awesome. So then it's 10:05, and then so far I have we have actually a pretty good quorum. Let me actually send a quick message here. I know that Carl is asking me right now. So I have one of our members, Carl Mars. So I think he wants to join us. Members meeting. Okay, guys. So one more minute and we're ready to go. Diana, could you please do me a favor?
Mhm.
Could you please send Carl Mars the link for the Eventbrite?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he's texting me right now.
Okay.
Yeah, see, he's texting me. I think that he's planning, so he will enjoy this meeting a lot. Um, awesome, perfect. So then I think we're ready to go. And then, as I mentioned, I am actually really excited with our presenter today. I consider her a friend. I have to admit, London. She's a dear friend. I really admire her. And yes, so I do. I have to admit, she's a dear friend. So I'm really happy and excited, as I mentioned before, that we are actually able to have her today. She's not located in Orange County or LA. She's actually from Detroit. And then she's joining us today to talk about standing in humanity, why Black Lives Matters. And she's a really accomplished woman. She's a really accomplished woman. London, as I mentioned, she's from Detroit. She's a lawyer, a community organizer, an activist, and a humanitarian with a specific educational training in international human rights, law and policy, and international business and trade law. So she has focused her career advocating for policy changes on behalf of diverse communities. She is the founder and president of Bell Global Justice Institute, a non-governmental organization based in Detroit focused on advancing and promoting the human rights of women and girls. London is a member of the United Nations Association. And then I'm actually really excited to say that she has been this year, actually, she became an officer. So she's currently the secretary of UNA USA. And also she was the chair for UNA Women. So she's a great person. So then we're going to start today talking a little bit about the background. We're going to have some kind of history, some kind of she's actually going to share a nice story, and then from there we're also going to take a Q&A. So we're going to have like 20 minutes to learn more about how everything started and why this is connected with human rights. London?
Thank you so much, Isabel. Thank you so much for inviting me today. Thank you, everyone. Good morning to you all. It's afternoon here in Detroit, and it's a beautiful day. And so I'm very excited to present on why Black Lives Matter. So as Isabel was saying to you all, I am the founder and president of Bell Global Justice Institute, and we work to inspire, empower, build, and mobilize strong voices and impactful actions to advance and preserve the human rights and human dignity of women and girls globally. Now, Bell Global Justice Institute, I named it after my brother, Staff Sergeant Vincent James Bell of the United States Marine Corps. He was killed in action in Afghanistan on November 30th, 2011, and he is loved the world over by U.S. Marines. And he was just a wonderful person. And at age 11, he declared himself a feminist to my mom, who believed that his sisters, myself and my sister Andrea, should have the same rights as he does as a boy, as a man. And so he mentored many young people, many Marines. And so our organization and our work is dedicated in his honor. Next slide, please. So Nina Simone is one of my heroes. She was a civil rights activist and musician, and I think she sums it up. What freedom is to her and to many Black people in America is to have no fear. Next slide. And so that's where we're going to move into the Black Lives Matter movement, why it started, the impact and where it's going, and some of the misconceptions of the Black Lives Matter movement. So many of you may be familiar with Trayvon Martin, who was killed in 2012, I believe. And on July 13th, 2013, his the person who killed him, George Zimmerman, was acquitted of his murder. Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old unarmed teenager on his way home from the store in Sanford, Florida, and he had a pack of Skittles and a juice, I think, and he was approached by George Zimmerman, where there was a tussle because George Zimmerman thought he looked suspicious. And so because of that acquittal and the pain that it caused Black people, many people around the country and around the world, Black Lives Matter was formed, founded by 3 Black women, Patrice Con Colors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi. And so, the mission is simple, eradicating white supremacy, building local power, empowering Black people, and empowering us to be safe and free from violence, and to build our joy, and just to give us agency. Next slide. So Black Lives Matter is a lot of things. It is an international movement, with headquarters in the US, UK, and in Canada. Protests have been organized around the globe in the recent months since the murder of George Floyd. Protests have been organized in all 50 states in the United States, including Alaska. Who knew? Alaska. And all over the world, including places like Australia and France. There are 13 guiding principles that Black Lives Matter subscribes to, and that is, I'm just going to read them: diversity, globalism, Black women, Black villages, loving engagement, restorative justice, collective value, empathy, queer affirming, unapologetically Black, transgender affirming, Black families, and intergenerational. The reason why I read them, the reason why that is so important is because many of the misconceptions actually fall around these 13 guiding principles. There are about 40 chapters worldwide, and even though Black Lives Matter can be seen and it's assumed that it is a violent group at times, it is not. It is actually a nonviolent, civil disobedient group, and protesting against police brutality and other issues that impact the human rights and civil rights and dignity of Black people. It is a grassroots organization. It is locally led, so they really do put local leadership over national leadership, which is really important for this movement. Next slide, please. So the common misconceptions about Black Lives Matter is long. This is part of a list, and I'll go over just a few of them in detail. So, the fact that the movement is partisan, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that the movement is a violent hate group and hates white people. That is not true at all. In fact, many of the Black Lives Matter movement have white people that are members. The idea that, so whenever someone says Black Lives Matter and then someone else comes back and says all lives matter, there's that tension there. So what we're really trying to say is that Black lives matter too. We're not saying that, other lives don't matter. We're not an anti-white lives matter. We're trying to assert our agency and tell the world that we matter too. And, for people who for people who mischaracterize the affirmation of the value of Black life as being anti-white, is suggesting that white lives matter, but Black lives do not. And many argue that this is the foundation of white supremacy. So when you hear that argument, think about where it's coming from and think about ways to sort of dismantle that belief and understand that we're really just trying to say that we matter too at the same time. The other misconception is that Black people don't care about Black on Black crime. That's often an argument that is presented by people who don't like Black Lives Matter or who want to, play the other side. That is completely untrue. We do care about Black on Black crime. We do care about crime against Black children and Black women. And what we want is for Black on Black crime not to be used to sort of deflect from the issue that's at hand. Black people dying, by the hands of police or other actors. Black on Black crime is really no different than white on white crime or, other communities, crime against other communities. What I want to say, according to a document that I have here, 93% of Black murder victims are killed by other Black people, but 84% of white murder victims are killed by other white people. So our communities are no different than other communities. And I've had to explain this, over and over again. So it's not really an argument that we feel should be used to sort of minimize what we're trying to assert, as far as our rights against police brutality. And there are many people in the community, many activists of all cultures that are working in the Black communities. I'm one of those people working with young people, working with, elders, where we're working very hard in our communities to reduce Black on Black crime. And we're able to do it all. And there are many of us doing more than one thing. The other thing is that it's a one issue movement. It's not. I think at the top of the list is police brutality, excessive force, but there are other issues that Black Lives Matter is concerned about and is focusing on, such as education, food insecurity in Black communities, voter suppression, housing, discrimination in housing, discrimination in employment. The list is endless, but right now the focus is on police brutality, and brutality by other actors. We've had 3, 4 just in the last several months: Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, Ahmaud Arbery, and that's just this year. And those are the people that we know. So the numbers rise the more we learn and as the years go on. So then another misconception is that the movement hates police officers. That is also not true. It is very far from the truth. In fact, many people within the Black Lives Matter movement have family members that are police officers. I am actually the niece of a Detroit police officer who was killed in the line of duty in 2010. I also serve on the FBI Citizens Academy Alumni Association. I'm a part of their community program where I help to build community relationships with the FBI office in Detroit. Many of us are working with police officers side by side, helping them understand the issues in the community, building bridges. And what we want is for officers to be held accountable. What we want is for officers to understand that asserting your rights when you are engaging with a police officer is not a crime. And mutual respect is what we are asking for. It is far from the truth but people who are anti-Black Lives Matter or want to play the other side are often using these types of arguments to sort of, minimize the work that we are doing. Another misconception is that the movement is not intercultural or intergenerational. I don't know if you all have been paying attention to the protests that have been happening on the ground in different cities around the world and in the United States, but they are very much intercultural and very much intergenerational. So these are just some of the common misconceptions of Black Lives Matter. And like I said, there are more, but this is just a small list. Next slide, please. These are the founders. These are our beautiful founders. Black women. Black women have been at the forefront of every human rights and civil rights fight for Black people and people of color in the United States since we came here as enslaved people. We are always either in the background somewhere or in the forefront. We don't get the credit that we deserve, but we are usually the foundation of movements. Next slide. So I put together this list. This is a list, and it's unfortunately it's not a complete list. It's far from being a complete list, but these are some of the names over the decades of the 20th and 21st centuries of Black lives that we have lost either through excessive force, police brutality, or vigilante actors. Some of these individuals have been lynched in the most traditional sense, and then some of them have been killed as they were unarmed by police officers. Many of these names you may recognize, many of them you may not. But this is just a way for me to just, put names to this cause. Next slide, please. So why do Black Lives Matter? In addition to, all of us, all Americans having rights under the U.S. Constitution, this is global. We have the UN Declaration of Human Rights outlining fundamental human rights and protections afforded to every single global citizen. Under international laws and customs, our rights are included in every single treaty and convention. Like the UN Sustainable Development Goals, they very much are a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, and including the message of which I really appreciate, leaving no one behind. Black people in the diaspora, Africans in the African diaspora, represent more than 1 billion people of the human population. So even though we may be a smaller percentage here in the United States, I think we represent about 13% of the population. We are a huge global movement of Black people, and so we matter as well as every other human being, and so this is just a global. It's beyond a local issue. It's global. Next slide, please. So there are so many different issues, human rights issues in the United States impacting Black Americans. I'm sure many of you already know what they are. I just wanted to list them. This is not an exhaustive list. Of course, many Black people are victims of excessive force. Black maternal health is very much an issue here. I'm very concerned about intimate partner violence and the impact on Black women. The list is long, but I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that Black Americans are struggling with, and Black leaders, community, business, church leaders are working very diligently to help our communities overcome. Next slide, please. So this is the part that I took a lot of time to put together, because I think more than just understanding why Black Lives Matter, what I've learned and what I understand about people, in different communities, is that people really want to be involved to make a difference. People understand how dire the situation is for Black Americans and Black people worldwide. And many people just want to do their part, and I really appreciate that. And so these are just some of the ways that I think if you all ever want to get involved to support the Black Lives Matter movement, many of you are probably already doing this. And these are just some examples. Some of my favorites are, before anything, affirm publicly and privately that Black lives do indeed matter. I think start there, because I think a lot of people are just, nervous and afraid of saying this because of all of the backlash that has come from, different areas, stand in your, the truth and just say it. Black Lives Matter. And then from there, do advocate, be an advocate for law and policy changes. Understand that Black lives have intersections, meaning, Black people, as well as many people from other cultures, Black people live with disability. Black people are gender diverse. Black people vote. Black people own businesses. We have a lot of different identities. So we're not just all one. We speak different languages. We're in different areas, different levels as far as our education. So just understanding the intersections of Black people, supporting Black-owned businesses, particularly Black women and queer and trans Black-owned businesses, supporting local NGOs, and by grants and donations and volunteering. So really doing that research and learning about the businesses and organizations in your local community. Next slide, please. These are just some additional ways. Even something as simple as advocating for more inclusive language and policies and curriculums and visuals at your doctor's office, your grocery store, your school, your work. If you're looking around and you don't see representations of Black people or even other people of color, you could be that voice, that one person that really makes that difference to make that happen. Being an ally, during all of this going on with George Floyd and Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, I have had a lot of people in my life that are not Black that have called to check in on me, to just listen. I think this is one of the first times in my life that people have just listened without, jumping in to question my feelings or to make me feel like I have to defend my feelings around how I feel about microaggressions and racism. This has been a great time where people have just been a safe space. And I would encourage you to do the same for people in your family and your friends and colleagues and students and neighbors that identify as Black. As an ally, reach out to them and let them know you care. And if nothing else, if you don't know how to do anything else, just being a listener is very, very powerful. You have no idea. Next slide, please. These are just some additional suggestions. I particularly love the idea of using your buying power to demand inclusive, equitable labor practices from your favorite businesses, demanding diversity at your favorite businesses. We are so much more powerful than we know, and your buying power can truly make a difference for communities of color. I would highly recommend, Isabel, that you and your chapter, if you have not already, reach out to your local Black Lives Matter chapter, partner with them, invite them to come and speak at events, get to know them, your local NAACP chapter, and your local Black Greek chapters, such as Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta. They're a great resource.
We have tried that, like for example with Alpha Kappa, we have tried in the past, and I think Juanita is today. I don't know if she joined us, but she signed out today. So hopefully this is something that we can maybe better move forward. But if you have the connection, we would love to do that. To be honest, I think that's a terrific idea. It sounds great. This is like, as I said, we need to partner more and find common ground.
Absolutely, yes. I can definitely connect with the AKAs here in Detroit and help make that connection out where you are.
Excellent.
Yes. Next slide, please.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are just films, books, and podcasts that if you're interested in learning more about Black life in America, I've seen, all of these, and they are, very close, near and dear to my heart. Many of them can be difficult to watch, but I really encourage you to just sit down and watch them. Many of them are available on Netflix. My favorite is Fruitvale Station, the story of Oscar Grant in California. If you were to start with any of them, like if you just know where to start with the documentary 13th, about the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. That's by Ava DuVernay, and then just move your way around. But that's the first one I would start with. Next slide. And just more films. Some of my favorite here are Raisin in the Sun, Selma, about voting rights, and God bless John Lewis, who was a huge part of the movement, particularly in Selma. These are just some of my favorite. Dark Girls is a documentary about colorism. Black people have issues with skin tone. So the lighter you are, the more privileged you are considered to be. So darker skinned women have a very different journey than lighter skinned Black women. And you'll learn that if you watch the Dark Girls documentary. Next slide. And then these are just some books. White Fragility is a very good book. Betty Before X is actually a children's book, and it's about Malcolm X's wife, Dr. Betty Shabazz, when she's about 12, growing up in Detroit. And so this is before all of the X, and just her life growing up in Detroit in the 40s. It's a really good book. It's a children's book. I really enjoyed it, so I would recommend that among the other books. Next slide. And then here are just some additional books. I did include one podcast, 1619. It's 4 episodes, and it actually begins at the moment that the story begins at the moment that Africans come to the shores of the United States. And it goes all the way through Reconstruction, the Great Migration, and even to today's times. It's 4 episodes. I would definitely check that out. Next slide. So then internationally, what I love about the United Nations is that there are, specific programming and policies around people of African descent. So the International Decade for People of African Descent began in 2015, and it was passed by the General Assembly and adopted on December 2013. The theme of the International Decade is People of African Descent, Recognition, Justice, and Development. So it's really about promoting respect, protection, and fulfillment of all human rights and fundamental freedoms for people of African descent, promoting a greater knowledge of respect in our diverse heritage, and adopting and strengthening national, regional, and international legal frameworks according to the Durban Declaration, the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, and much more. I will say that the United States is a member of the International Convention to End Racial Discrimination, and its last appearance before the United Nations was 2014, I believe. So we should have come up to present our policies around racial discrimination since, but we have not. So there's more work to do to encourage the United States to be more involved at this level around treaties and conventions for human rights. Next slide. So this is my favorite part. This is actually a story about me and Molly. And so I wrote a little short story, and I'm going to read it to you all. And I hope you like it. It's called Molly and Me. In 1846, a little girl was born into slavery on the Reed Plantation in South Carolina. Her name was Molly. She was what was commonly known as a mulatto girl, which is a derogatory term for a mixed race child, mixed race person. Molly's father, John B. Reed, who immigrated from Ireland, was her master, owner, and her mother was an enslaved person. Molly was born as a result of sexual assault. As an enslaved girl, Molly was legally barred from learning to read and write, among many of the indignities enslaved people endured. She was not considered to be a full, whole human being under the laws of the United States. She married Carter, a young man born into slavery on the family plantation in Douglas County. So the Reed family had two plantations, and they went on to have six children. Of her six children, Molly bore Albert, born in 1877, who bore Alvin in 1905, who then bore Clara in 1928, who bore Pamela in 1955, and then Pamela bore me in 1977. So Molly is my great great grandmother. Her birth by sexual assault is partly why I have my light skin. And colorism is a huge issue in the Black community dating back to slavery because lighter skinned people were given more privileges. Lighter skinned enslaved people were given more privileges. Molly's body and mind was also not her own, and she worked her master's cotton plantation um, and built this country's land and economy for free. So down Molly's line is my grandmother, Clara, who is now 92 years young, who has skin that looks like cocoa butter. She doesn't look anything like she could be 92, but she's 92 years old. She was born and raised in Georgia, not far from the Reed plantation, until about age 14 when she married my grandfather. Their families were both sharecroppers. My grandparents could not finish school. My grandmother was taken out of school at sixth grade, and my grandfather at third grade. My grandfather did not know how to read and write. And so they both worked the fields of their families, for their families as sharecroppers. And then in the 1940s, my grandparents were a part of the Great Migration North, where millions of Black Americans came north for economic opportunities. They settled in Michigan and bore and raised three generations of their family, and that's including their 8 children, 17 grandchildren, and 10 great grandchildren. I'm one of the grandchildren. And one of the children is my mom, who is a highly educated woman who raised me. And I have 3 degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in English, I have a Juris Doctor, I'm a lawyer, and I also have a Master of Laws with a specialty in international human rights law and policy and international business. So I'm telling you all this because this is this is the life of Black lives. This is a story of strength and resilience. So for me, so for Molly, I vote. I read huge, thick books in her honor, like 500-page books about the world. I travel the world. I take great pride in my freedom of movement. I teach young people in Detroit about their magnificent Black history and our collective humanity. I speak out on injustices. I volunteer. I write. I bear witness to life and its possibilities. I love. I celebrate. I dance. I dream. And I have stood in at the same podium as world leaders at the United Nations. And so, next slide, please. I say all that to say that I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. Very proud. And next slide. So I really hope that you learned a little something from my presentation, and I hope that you're inspired by my own story and the legacy of my family, born into slavery and generations later now going to the United Nations. And every presentation that I do, I dedicate my PowerPoints in honor of someone. This PowerPoint is dedicated to the lives of 4 Black girls killed in at the 16th Street Baptist Church in 1963 through a bombing. And yeah, and so their Black Lives Matter. And Denise, Cynthia, Addie Mae, and Carol, their Black Lives mattered. And thank you.
Awesome. Wow. That was, I have to admit, really empowering, as you said. I really love the way that you just drive us through everything, the 13 principles, the misconception, which I think is key. You gave us some tools, to educate ourselves and local ways that actually how we can help people and advocate for you guys. Something that I want to touch base right now, and it really resonated in me, is when you mentioned the fact of being an ally. So then you said being an ally is really important for us. So I want you to elaborate a little bit more how actually we can really be allies for all of you guys, and say, you're right, Black Lives Matters, and we are with you, So could you please elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yes, yes. So I am actually an ally for the LGBT community, and I've adopted some of the principles that I use as an ally of the LGBT community. As an ally of the Black community and Black Lives Matter, again, it means so much to know that people have cared to reach out to me and have offered space, safe space, and non-judgmental space, and have just listened. And also what's important is intervening when you see something that isn't right. If you're out somewhere and you see something, if you see an officer or an engagement between an officer and a Black person, when it is safe, just stop for a minute and just record it. Because you don't know what the circumstances are, and you don't even have to know the circumstances, but just bearing witness and documenting and intervening when you can. If you're at the grocery store and someone who's, not being right. I have a disability. And so sometimes at the grocery store, I'm in one of those little buggies and I'm in a white neighborhood. And sometimes white people have had to intervene for me to make sure that no one jumps in front of me or no one disregards me. So just like I said, just intervening, disrupting, and as long as you feel safe doing so, like physically safe, documenting, recording. You probably have seen social media where there's been a lot of encounters between white people and Black people or anti-Black Lives Matter. It's all recorded to protect the rights of Black people. So those are ways to be an ally.
Okay, that's wow. Thank you. So now I want to open to the floor. If anyone has any question, you can raise your hand, or maybe you can type it in the chat, and then we can actually have this great opportunity to start, digging more into how we can be active members and active voices. We need to be active voices and allies. So I don't know if anyone has any question. I'm trying to.
Isabel, one of the things I would love for you to do, I don't know if you all do film viewings, but if you have an opportunity, like I said, to watch 13th, the documentary, the other film is When They See Us, about the Incarcerated Five. There are 5 boys in Central Park in the 80s who were incarcerated because they were accused of raping a woman. But they were innocent and they spent years in prison. They all survived it and they are alive today, but their lives were forever changed. When They See Us is that story. Watch the story.
I was going to ask you something really quick. So then the ones, because you kind of drive us really, I love the structure, it's a kind of like a way of really understanding and digging into things. So then the first documentary that you suggest is watching 13. The 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. What is the second one?
The second one I would highly recommend that you go for is When They See Us.
When They See Us. So that will be the same. Okay.
Yeah, it's by the same director, Ava DuVernay.
Okay.
I would really highly suggest that you watch it and then come together as a group and discuss it.
Excellent.
I would even be more than happy to come back and talk with you all about it because I've seen them both many times and just have a discussion.
Yes, that I think that's an excellent way. So then this is like a good start, starting with 13, and then When They See Us, that will be like a good way for digging in. And as you mentioned it, I love the fact that you gave us not just films, but also books. And you mentioned something really critical, which is the power of buying. You know,
Yes.
that's again, do you want, and this is something nice, which I think that maybe in our chapter, we this is the moment to start finding this local business that we should start supporting more and showing them, you know, we value and we are admire what you're doing right now, and we are with you, and we support your economy, and you're bringing, you know. So then I know that Dave wants to say something.
Yeah, I put something into the chat. If everybody has seen it, we have a group of groups in Orange County, local groups that are interested in social justice, have just come together to form something called Orange County Peace Builders. And we're starting a book club that's going to start on August 10th. First book's going to be How to Be an Anti-Racist. We're going to have it into 3 separate chapters, each meeting every 2 weeks, being led by moderators, facilitators. And so if anybody's interested in joining that, then I just put my email in and give me a note or let me know, and we'll connect you with one of the groups that's doing that. But I think that's certainly one of the things that can be done to help create awareness and to engage.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I think that's great. I think one of the things that I have encountered personally with non-Black people of color and for white people is that sometimes the talk of racism and systemic racism can be just very uncomfortable, to the point where people almost kind of shut down. And what I want to do is just encourage everyone to work through the fear and of being uncomfortable. It's okay. It really truly is okay to feel afraid, to feel uncomfortable, and to not feel like feeling afraid you might say the wrong thing. Just be in a safe space, create a safe space around you, and go from there. But it's okay to feel uncomfortable. This is not an easy subject. But keep pushing through.
Red.
Yeah, similar, kind of along those lines. London, do you have any recommendation for, like, you know, groups that Dave are talking about? Would it be better for a Black person or a minority to lead that facilitation, or is it okay for white people to lead that? We kind of had that debate, and we're kind of locked in, I think, already to what we're doing. But did you have any feelings for that? Like, is there, you know, in order to create a safe space, you know, is it okay for white people to lead that? I mean, I think that's what we're going to probably end up doing, but any insight on that?
I think it's okay to talk to the Black people in your group and allow them to sort of take the lead in sort of setting the tone of the group. If it looks as though it's a subject, for instance, like, I don't know, Reconstruction or lynching, things that people in the room may not know a lot about, I think it's okay to let Black people or people of color lead that discussion. And then on the other hand, I really encourage white people to do their own work and their own research and invest in their own learning. So sometimes it is important for white people to have their space in their groups to talk about these issues in which they could lead the discussion. So I really think it depends on the group and the people in the group, and just checking in and just following the lead of Black people or people of color. That's what I often do when I'm in spaces in the LGBT community. Sometimes I am called on to lead a conversation of something that I have more information on, like as far as international human rights. But for a lot of the time, I just defer to the people in the room and follow their lead and then go from there. But it's okay to ask. It truly is. And it may not be the same each time.
That's
Thank you.
an excellent advice. Thank you so much. Another point that I wanted to ask you, which I think that is beautiful that you guys work around, we have something similar in the Latin community, is that you were talking about the tribes, having your tribe, having your community. So I think that is also something really important for other cultures to learn about, how you become stronger when you're together and when you support each other. And I know that you guys are really good with that. You support each other, you look after each other,
Yeah.
you help, like when someone gives birth, you're there. And I know that, and I'm saying it also because I've been in that situation. I'm a Latina person, and when I give birth, like I start encountering like a lot of cultural barriers,
Yeah.
lacking the support, lacking the knowledge of the culture, even when I was going to the hospital and talking to the doctors and finding like that. So then one of the questions that I have is that how can we actually promote that type of unity, so then other cultures are able to embrace what is the beauty of working together and being more united, when we are facing problems and challenges in our life.
I think one of the good ways to promote that cultural connection of the tribe, is to acknowledge it and to affirm it. One of the things that I often feel like, because there's so many misconceptions and stereotypes about Black people, that a lot of people just kind of like, don't even really want to acknowledge, that we are a supportive, community of each other.
Mhm.
People often get stuck on the negative things that they hear about Black people. And unless you're really embedded in Black communities, and you've been embraced by Black communities, you really don't know. So again,
Mhm.
it goes back to being uncomfortable, learning and putting yourself out there and
Mhm.
understanding the culture more.
Mhm.
And Black people are very welcoming, and we embrace people. We build trust with people. And so just knowing that, acknowledging that is
Mhm.
important.
Mhm. I think
Yeah.
that's a great advice. That's something to keep in mind. So anyone has a question? I don't know if I'm just gonna go into the chat to see if we have here like a. Okay, so then
What?
Deborah is saying white accountability spaces are another alternative for having race discussions. Important to hold each other accountable for the way we have become compliant with white supremacy. So then I have here like some comments in the chat, which is actually really interesting because people are finding value, about what we said. So London, again, as I said before, I'm beyond happy and excited that you're joining us tonight. Yeah, right. Where is my brain? Already switching into the Spanish mode. I'm already like shutting down. Again, we are so blessed that we have Zoom and we have this G Suite. We have actually this technology that is bringing us together, even though we are so far away. And I have to admit, this presentation was so powerful because, as I mentioned, you provided us with a lot of the knowledge of not just the guidance and the principles, but also the misconceptions, which I think that we need to start. That's the starting point. We need actually to start with the misconception so we can move forward and learn that, we can be active voices. And then moving forward, I actually want to share with all of you guys our internal effort in our chapter. So something that we're doing in our chapter, because we want to be part of the solution, is that we launch a competition. And then this competition is to raise our voices. So we want to have a social media competition to end social injustice. And then this is something that we're launching today. Now that we have the knowledge about why Black Lives Matters, how we can actually raise our voices. As London mentioned it, there is a big, big, big misconception about the movement. And then we want to work around that. We actually want to let people know that this is a way of advocating in a no violent way. And then it's about disobedience and a protest against police brutality and another type of policies. And as London mentioned it, this is just the starting point, because it's not just about this. It's also about education. It's also about food security. It is also about the inequality and then the racism that they are facing when they are finding jobs, when they are finding housing. So it's a lot of things and issues that we need to work around. So then we're starting with this. We need to educate ourselves, and then we need to educate others. So then a good way is raising our voices and giving creative people, our young professionals, our students, to create social media posts that they can actually increase the awareness and they can have an impact. So then again, we are not about creating something that is violent. We actually are really aligned with being about equality. We think that equality is for all, and then, as I said, united we can do more. So we have actually yeah.
I'd like to say one last thing,
Yes,
Isabel.
correct.
I want to leave this thought with everyone. Whenever you are thinking of Black Americans, think of this. We are the descendants of Black people that survived the Atlantic slave trade. We survived the trip here on the ships. We
Yeah.
survived illness. We survived,
Yeah.
intense brutality,
Yes.
and the strength of our communities
Yeah.
come from
Yeah.
the strength of those who survived the Middle Passage. So just think of us in that way.
I love that. Thank you so much. And as you mentioned, it's a strength, but it's a strength in many levels, not just physical, but mental, is mortal.
Yeah.
You're like so stronger, so resilient. You're like so like warriors, that's a beautiful way of ending it up. And I also have to say, I love the fact that you always dedicate your presentation. I love that. I have to
Yeah.
admit, I think that's really beautiful. That's, we cannot forget.
Yes.
That's something to keep in mind. We cannot forget. So this is why this type of spaces is about raising awareness. But then after that, what are we going to do about it? So then my invitation to you guys is, now that you know there is no excuse, now you need to start acting, supporting more local, owners, being an ally. This is our role. This is what we need to do to really, be justice. And then, as London said, it's about remembering, they're the warriors, they're being here, they're the survivors. So we have a lot to learn from them, and we need to do that. So then again, London, thank you so much. I actually want to clap you because I thought it was actually really great. And I'm really way beyond an honor, and then we'll keep in contact.
Thank you.
So thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So then from now, we're actually going to start taking into our portion of our chapter meeting. So then I know that London has to go. Yes. But we will be sharing, if that is okay with you, London, we will be sharing, of course, the presentation that she shared with all of us. Absolutely. Because this is really important. It has a lot of tools. It has a lot of resources with books, videos, documentaries, podcasts that you can actually access. And she even guided us to the way of start doing it, step by step. So then we're going to share that information to all of you. So then again, we're going to make this action happen. So then again, London, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day and have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thanks, London. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So now going into our chapter. So then let me introduce myself. I know that we started right away talking about London and why she was here and digging into why Black Lives Matters, standing in humanity. My name is Isabel Tridle, and I am currently the president of the United Nations Association in Orange County. And I'm actually really glad and excited that Carl actually joined us. He's actually one of our past presidents. We have currently in the call also other board members and other active members that I want to thank them for their hard work and for being always committed. And if you are not a member, we actually encourage you to actually join us. As you can see, we are actually a group. What we do is that we advocate and we try to mobilize Americans in the vital work of the United Nations. And then we are a chapter here in the Southern California. We have currently 11 chapters. From Santa Barbara, we have to San Diego, we have 11 chapters. And then what we do is that we try to bring that mission of the United Nations in a local way. So then the way that we do it is that we act locally, thinking globally. That's mainly our motto. We try to do things in that way. So we're going to be sharing with all of you our membership. I don't know if Diana or Dave can send it in the chat. And then now I want to move forward. We're going to talk a little bit before going even forward, because I actually want to give some good news. So then, as some of you, of course, know, because you are in the committee, we are having our event to celebrate the 75th anniversary of the United Nations in October. That's going to be the 24th at 11 a.m. And then I got confirmation from Rachel Pittman, who is actually the CEO and the executive director of UNA USA at a national level, that she's going to be giving some remarks and welcoming in our event. So she's going to be joining us from DC. So that's actually really exciting news. And now I want to move forward to start our agenda. So then we have like some things that we want to go around, but actually, no, let me actually change it. Sorry about that, guys. Little impro, I have that. So we have here like some people around. So I would like to move around, and maybe if you're new, we would like to learn a little bit about you and why you're here. If you are connected to any specific organization, we would like actually to learn more of you. So I don't know who wants to go. You can raise your hand, can type your mic.
I can start.
Yeah, go for it, Rev. Brave,
So
Rev.
I introduced myself a little bit earlier, but I don't think the whole group was here. So I've been familiar with this group in the United Nations and the Declaration of Human Rights for a little while. And Carl actually presented at my Humanist Association of Orange County. And then we had another representative come, I think maybe a year or two later, and also present. And obviously Dave has gotten more, your vice president, Dave Rice, has gotten more active with your group. So I've been kind of, loosely affiliated through him. Super impressed. I've been ever since Carl presented the Declaration of Human Rights. I've been posting that alongside of the humanist affirmations. And the two align so tightly that I'm like, this is just a no-brainer to have, this kind of a partnership. So I'm just really, I'm glad I've found the time to, to join this group. And I can't remember if I'm an official member or not, but if I'm not, I certainly will be soon. I've joined a few organizations recently that I'm really excited about. So this is just another one of those awesome opportunities. You guys are doing similar stuff that we are. And I'm so glad to help out and participate. And I look forward to seeing how else I can fit in with what I might be able to help out with. So awesome.
Excellent. I think you mentioned something really true, which is kind of saying we are doing something similar. So then at this point is we should collaborate and partner more. And that's actually our mission right now, trying to find more that common ground and moving the actions, So anyone wants to introduce themselves? I don't know if I see like new faces. I kind of like see everyone here. So I see Crystal, I see Cameron, Amer. Amer, can you hear us? He cannot, he's mute.
I actually do. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Yes. Hi, Hammer. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing good. Thank you, Isabel. I'm actually have been a member with UNA of Orange County for quite a while now. It's been like a year and a half now, but I have to admit I wasn't so active. But
it's okay.
Online activities gave me like more flexibility to join. So I do appreciate your invitations always to the meetings, and looking forward hopefully to be more active.
Definitely. We really appreciate that. And then something that we want to remind our members is that, of course, we are always here for you guys. We know that life gets busy. We have children, we have our family members, our significant others, we have friends. And something that I try to do, I try to balance this also with my family. I try actually to do this type of voluntary activities also with my husband. So right now he's not here with me because he's taking care of my baby. Otherwise she will be just jumping and running all the, and then I know it will be really kind of hard, to keep track with what we are having here, which is really important, a little distracting. But I try actually to do that because, as I mentioned, I think in the past, I think it's really important to give back to society. And I think that the United Nations Association here in Orange County give us that opportunity to give back to society. And also, I have to admit, it also is a good way to connect it with like-minded people. You actually start knowing great people. You can create bonds and have friends. I have to admit that I have like great friends thanks to the United Nations in Orange County, and also like in the regional level and at a national level. I have to admit that that's something that I have to thank. And finally, the other thing is about, again, remember, you just do it in the way that you can. We're always here for you. I have to admit, which is kind of something really interesting, and all the members, and even Carl, they know I used to live in Echo Park, and I joined the Orange County chapter, which is kind of people saying, why you even did, how you even do that? And then the point, it was because of the way that I was studying and I was commuting, and then I continue commuting for the group because I believe in the people. So when I see the people, that is something that is valuable for me. There is no distance, and I follow that. So that's what I even. I'm not living right now in Echo Park, but I don't live in Orange County. I'm not even part of the Orange County. I live actually in the LA County. I live actually in Hermosa Beach. But I still, and they know that, I still, when we have the meetings, when we have our events, I still commute because I believe in the people and I believe in our community and what we are doing. So for me, that's more meaningful. So yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to share. I know we have Yasu, we have Grady, who is actually our secretary. We have Dave, who is actually our VP. We have Crystal, who is our secretary. We have Homa Shadrut. Homa, I don't know if you want to say something. If not, no worries. I don't want to get you guys in the spotlight. We have Sharon. I know I met you earlier. We were talking a little bit earlier. And then we also have Zuma. And so I don't know, Zuma, if you want to say something, or if not, guys, we can just go straight, and maybe you can experience a little bit about how our meetings are and maybe find if this is like a good fit for you. Okay, so Mask is saying that he's having right now some issues. Mask says to everyone, hi everyone, I am having some issues with my microphone, so I thought I will just introduce myself here. I am a new member and part of the Young Professionals Fellowship. I am very excited to get more involved. Excellent. Great, we love that. That's the other thing that is the beauty of the United Nations, is that we welcome all the backgrounds, and we welcome different ages. You don't need the actual year to have a specific age to be with us. I would say that the youngest member is probably my daughter, who attends some of the events. She's like 18 months. So there is no limit, to be honest. There is no limit. Hi, Diana. Do you want to say something and share with us a little bit of your
Susan
experience?
just appeared. I want to give her, let her say something. I want Susan to say something. She just appeared.
Who appeared?
Oh, no, Susan, can you unlock yourself? Unmute yourself? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello,
Susan.
everybody.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi.
Susan, go for it.
I had another meeting at 10, so.
We are still excited that you were able to make it. Thank you so much. So Susan is being like a member with us, really active, and she's been involved for quite a while. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience with the chapter and the other programs that you have?
Oh, I don't know. I've been
It's
doing
okay.
this.
If not, it's okay, Susan. I don't want to get you in the spotlight.
Yeah. I've been doing things. I've been on the board or active since I retired in 1999. So now I just enjoy it.
That's great.
Member.
That's a great way of doing it. Now she can just sit and relax and say, great, guys. And also we have Carl. I don't know, Carl, if you want to say something. So he was he's actually used to be one of our presidents. So then, Carl, do you want to mute yourself and say a little words?
Okay.
Yeah,
all
go
right.
for it.
Hopefully I'm unmuted.
Yes, you are.
Wanted to say, I'm still involved with advocacy right now, and we were pushing for the World Health Organization to do some special funding for it. And I had I don't know if the message ever got onto the website.
It got.
But if you want to advocate right now, you don't need to contact your local representatives or senators. They're all on board with supporting the World Health Organization here in Orange County. But what you could do is just think of there's a message there. I think if my write-up gets on the website, you can see what I was going to say about the World Health Organization. But contact the White House and be very nice and just tell the president and the staff that it's extremely important for the United States to remain a member of the World Health Organization because of all of the positive things that it does. And if they feel that they have some issues with the WHO, those could easily be worked out over with negotiation, and that the White House should try and negotiate the differences that they have with the WHO, but please don't leave it. So that would be my spiel right now. There is a lot of things on the website, the national website, if you want to do some other things. I haven't been on it for probably about 2 weeks. But if there's anything else going on, they'll be able to direct you how to send a message directly to whoever needs to get it. Generally, it's our senators and our Congress people, because they control funding. And right now, we know from the information I got back from National that the House of Representatives has certainly done a good job in supplying adequate funding for, or decent job for supplying adequate funding to the UN. And but look and see if there's anything that they would like for us to do. I haven't looked. That's it for me, and I'll shut up and let somebody else talk.
Carl, thank you so much. And thank you so much for the reminder, and of course for providing and telling us about the tools. And as you mentioned, what we need to do is to write to the White House and doing it in a smart way, politely, telling them about the advantages, of course, of remaining part of the World Health Organization. I want to share with all of you really quick here about where you can go in our website. So we are here in UNAOC.org, and then we have here the advocacy action. So you have here different ways to use your mobile advocacy, to use your advocacy agenda, and then we have different ways actually for getting involved and send a message. So things are ready to go. You just fill it out, your name, you put all your information, and you just hit submit, and then you're ready to go, and you are on track with actions, which is what we need at this point. So now I actually want to move forward with our agenda. So I don't want to take the, oh, is anyone talking?
It's Yasu, Isabel.
Oh, hi Yasu, how are you?
I am fine, thank you. Excellent meeting, and I learned a lot, and I don't have much to add. Let's keep it up. Great.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you were able to join us. Yes, we have a great presentation with London. So as I mentioned, then we're going to dig a little bit. We're going to have a brief report from our committees, and then we can move forward so you can guys learn a little bit about the upcoming events. So then we have first Treasury report. I know Grady, he sent us the file yesterday, which we took a look. Yes. So I don't know if you want to share something or want to just.
For sure. Yeah, no, I'll share real quick. Hi guys, Grady. I'm the treasurer here. I'll keep it really brief because obviously I, would rather do the more substantive stuff in the meeting, let's just say. So here we go. All right. I hope you guys can see it. Yep. Here we go. So just to kind of give a brief overview, nothing too exciting, obviously, given, the past 6 months, things have been fairly calm, let's just say, in the money department. About 700 in cash, 25,000 overall in assets. Most of it's just kind of open-ended for what we need. We have been doing all right investment-wise, ironically enough. I know we have that money stored up in the social equity fund with TIAA CREF. So overall, we've only lost about $700, which most of that was in March and a little bit in May. We have been, kind of steadily trending back up. It's a fairly stable fund relative to a lot of others. Membership dues are probably the only other thing that I bring attention to, in the sense that we are still waiting on National to get those in. So we will see what happens with that. I know that's never been our primary source of funding anyway, at least funding from a for like events like this. I know the member dues kind of cover more the administrative side of things. So I'm not super panicked about that, especially given the reserve we have. Otherwise though, as you can see, this is pretty much the activity of year to date. These are the donations related to COVID-19, along with the donation from the Reaching for the Sky Fund. Everything else is very simple, basic. I don't know if anyone has any questions. You can all see it. It's nothing too exciting. I'll just kind of let you look.
Grady, I have a quick question. So then in order to touch base about the money from membership, this is something that is D'Anthony, the one who is in charge of that? I know he's in charge of. Yes. Okay.
Anthony and Katrina, I think, are working together at National, and I think it's been silent on their end so far because I don't think they themselves have really an idea of what they're going to do yet. So we'll see what happens. I know with wiring, it's always a little bit trickier sometimes to try and get everyone's bank info correct and all of that. And that's why checks are still a thing here in the US. So yeah, I can, otherwise I'll follow up with them in like a month, but I know every chapter kind of has the same question right now.
We're on the same boat. Yeah, we're on the same boat with every chapter, as you mentioned. And then, of course, this is something that we will talk more because this is also tied to membership, which we know already is also another issue. I know Diana wants to say something. Go, Diana.
I want to tell the people who are right now currently here in the meeting, like, you know, like some people may have lapsed membership, so we will send you email about that. Like if your membership is, for example, expired, because it's an annual membership, it's since you joined like last year or 2 years ago, maybe it's already expired, so we will give you instruction how to renew. And also there's 2 ways to renew. One way is to send check, and second way is to pay online with credit card. So it's up to you, but there's always an option you can send check. So we will, yes.
Do not remember to name our chapter, so then you are connected to this chapter whenever you are renewing your membership.
Yes, it's important to mention which chapter, because you basically become a member not only of our chapter, you become a member of UNA USA. But if you don't mention our chapter, then we just miss you. It's you know, we will not have that information. That's why we need that to be listed on the membership application form, on the renewal form. It has to be selected the Orange County chapter. And also, I will disclose that we are receiving a portion of the fee, not the whole fee, but like 50% of that we receive. You know, for our chapter basically, and the rest is go to national.
Yeah. So do we want to elaborate? I know Suma wants to say something. Suman, do you want to unmute? You need to unmute. We cannot hear you. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, got it. The question to Diane. So would I be getting some reminder that I'm due for my renewal?
Yes, I will check everybody's email with our report of those who are renewed, who didn't renew, and I will send that like maybe tonight or tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also feel free to reply. You know, if you reply, this is not no reply. It is if you reply, we can chat. You know, we can reply back. And
okay, that's good. That sounds good. Looking forward to.
Excellent. Thank you. So now that we're talking about membership, do we want to talk a little bit more? Because I know we're having like a lot of issues with the database, and I know Dave is leading this effort. So I don't know, Dave, if you want to touch base a little bit on this.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Let me see if I can share my screen here. Okay. Let's see. Share the entire screen. Okay. Yep. Share. Pull up. Here we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
You can see the committee updates. So I can give the update actually for membership and marketing.
Yep, go for it.
Both committees have sort of merged right now. And so a lot of good things going on. Just talking about membership, just to finish that up, Judy is coordinating that for us. So actually, Suman, to your question, and we have the list of all the expired memberships, and so we will be getting that out, like Diana said here, very briefly to everybody, just to remind them, because that's been a little bit of a glitch. Basically, what's happening also, just so everybody knows, is that National is converting their entire system right now over to a system called Salesforce.com. And so that's been a huge ongoing effort. So we appreciate everybody's patience. I think once that's in, then things are going to be a lot smoother in terms of the communication between National and Chapter. So that'll be very helpful. As far as marketing goes, Greta and Cameron, we've been so happy to have their leadership and involvement on this committee, along with Diana. They're on the call here, and so we've done a number of things. They've helped us update our own brand guidelines, created a flyer for the UN 75 Celebration Day. We've been updating our marketing materials. We're putting together sort of a updated Orange County chapter membership overview and benefits of joining that will be available online, and we can send that out also in the membership emails. And then we'll also discuss more about the various affinity groups that we have, which sometimes not everybody knows about. And then we're also helping out with recommendations on improving our social media. Cameron's just got access, I think, to Facebook and I think Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, Isabel. So that's great. And then also recommendations on the website. We are starting to get a video library out there, which should be a terrific resource with all kinds of wonderful videos that people can access and use on all kinds of issues and causes related to the Sustainable Development Goals, etc. And then we're also going to be highlighting our youth engagement program, which is an exciting sort of a new effort on our part. And I know Crystal is on the line. And so if I just drop down to the youth engagement program, Crystal, do you want to cover this at all? Kind of the update here? Or would you like me to?
Yeah, she's mute. She's muted, so.
Okay.
Maybe, oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and just kind of update. What we're doing is we've had, historically, there have been campus chapters at some of the schools. And Cal State Fullerton and Chapman have been two of our most active campus chapters. And Crystal, for example, was the president of the Cal State Fullerton campus chapter. And, you know, there's others that have been coming through. Somebody in National today, Marco, came through that chapter. So it's a very important outreach and opportunity for students in college to actually learn more about the UN, learn about Sustainable Development Goals, and ultimately become involved in the local chapter as well if they're staying in the area. So our goal is to actually grow and improve the chapters themselves on campuses, not only at Fullerton and Chapman, but also help getting them started at UC Irvine, SoCa, Vanguard, and the community colleges. And then as part of that effort, we're also starting up an affinity group. So we have the women's affinity group, there's the young professionals. We're also going to be doing an education affinity group so that faculty, administrators, and staff on these campuses can sign up and actually become more engaged with the Sustainable Development Goals, get them involved in their classrooms more, have their students doing projects. It's a very exciting, I think, potential opportunity for us to engage better with our universities around all of the issues that we're trying to work on here locally in Orange County that apply to the Sustainable Development Goals. And then the other thing they can do is help mentor the campus chapters. And so that'll help give us better continuity with those programs. So that's an exciting program. And then long term, what we'd like to do, we have model UN programs that have been going on forever at our schools, high schools, and so forth, where students get an initial introduction to the UN. And they're really on their own. So we just want to make sure that they're supported and have whatever resources they need, and can help those students also continue in their efforts with United Nations and the campus chapters when they go to college. And then we're looking to provide a more seamless pathway to our young professional group once students graduate from college so that they can stay involved, but also take advantage of all of the opportunities here for them to be useful in promoting their careers with networking and so forth. So that's kind of the update on all those programs. Does anybody have any questions or feedback?
I do have a question, but then I know I saw Diana's hand. Diana, you can go first.
I just want to mention that we have one more class, which is Advocacy 101. And if you visit advocacy page, you will see Advocacy 101. It's education for every member of our chapter. It's not for just for students. It's for any member of the chapter. Learn Advocacy 101 because there's instruction what to say, what not to say, and how to properly to support you and even on political level.
Excellent. Thanks, Diana, for that reminder. I know that some members, they get probably a little stressed out and they don't want to participate in some advocacy calls or meetings because they're always afraid what I'm going to say, if I'm going to forget the numbers, the data. And something that I want to tell you guys is that something that we have encountered and this is not just for advocacy, but in real life and even in business, is the power of storytelling. Is really more powerful and important when you're sharing your own story and you're telling the members of Congress why you care about the United Nations. That's actually even more powerful than giving just numbers, random numbers. So of course, it's important to have a solid foundation, but that's something that it always can be provided by giving a booklet, by giving something really brief. But again, your story is the one that is more valuable. And then going back into Dave and then his report, Dave, thank you so much for all the effort and then putting together, of course, merging the efforts of membership, which I know is being challenging, with the new system that, of course, Nationals is transitioning, and the marketing effort. So something that I want to do right now, I actually want to share Greta's design. She's actually been really helpful putting together the designs for the current efforts that we have. So then this is something where we're going to be start posting since today. Now that we have the official launch of Why Black Life Matters, and this is our social media competition. So then again, we're going to use our social media channels, try to engage younger people, creative people, on putting together material that is going to increase awareness about ending racism. And then the other design that she helped us with, and then again, Greta, thank you so much. This is our flyer. This is actually what we're going to be sending out to save the date. This is for our UNA celebration. This is also something that is going to go together with the video that we're being talking about. So I don't know, for some of you guys that are not familiar, and this is also something that I need to touch base with Carl, is that we're going to do a marketing video promoting the celebration of the United Nations, that this is a milestone, it's 75th anniversary. So that we're going to put together a video with some of the board members, giving a message why the United Nations is important for them, and then also singing happy birthday in their own language. So if it's Grady is going to be singing in Dutch, Diana is going to be singing in Ukraine, hopefully. And then I don't know, Carl, if you can help us with Japanese, because I know Dave is going to be helping us with Mandarin. So then we're going to have like different kind of portions, and then we're going to edit it together and then send that. We're going to blast that to create the unity and how we come all together. And this is a beautiful melting pot. And that's the beauty of the United Nations. That's how we become together and stronger. So then that's something that we're going to be doing. We're going to be sharing that video. So going back and tidying and to finish the membership and then the marketing, something that I will ask Dave and his team, now that we have like a clear layout of membership and then marketing efforts, we can actually also start setting up like some deadlines. So then we know we're going to start creating these affinity groups or something by when we can do that. And I'm saying it is because as NGOs and as nonprofits and even as, we actually sometimes lose track of things, but it's important when we put reminders and then when we put like a time frame by when we can do something, and it's something that is feasible, it will help us to keep track of our goals. So then I think that that's something that I will ask you guys. So then again, try to think about something that is feasible and by when we want to do it. So then we touch base already membership, we touch our base already about the youth engagement. We also have the UN Women group, and I think Joy is not here. And so let me tell you a little bit. So then the way that we work is that, of course, we have as a chapter, we also have some affinity groups where people can join to a specific type of field that they want to have more their efforts and the passions. So some of the affinity groups that we have in our chapter, we have the young professionals, and then we have the UN Women. So then UN Women is currently being, the leader is Joy Adams, who is actually a long-term member. She's really active, but currently she's having like, she's stepping down a little bit because of taking of her personal, personal matters, with her family. But we also have a person who is actually going to become more active, which is Russia. So then I also want to tell some of our officers and members that Russia is actually currently planning a program to revamp and then kind of revive the UN Women. So we're actually planning on doing something by the end of July or the beginning of August. UN Women is going to have like a program that is going to come virtually, giving this a space. I'm here reading something. Okay, perfect. I got it. Dave, thank you so much. And then I know Diana wants to say something.
Yeah, I want to present one really, really powerful and eye-opening flyer. I know
Yeah,
it will be surprise for everybody. You must see this. It's like, they asked me to look into a marketing material, like, but old, what old material that we did. And I found something that will be a really big surprise for you. And I didn't show it. Look at this. Can you see this?
So are you going to share the screen?
Yeah, it's a
there you go. Perfect. Excellent.
Can you see?
Yep. So we see the
you see all these circles?
foundation, the better world.
So
yes.
This is you.
Yes.
This is our chapter.
Yeah.
Here we need to put a division. Here UNA USA National.
Yeah.
Here's Better World Fund, and then UN Foundation. So by becoming a member here, you basically get access to everything. If you get access to all those programs, there is some projects. Each of these organizations has different programs and projects, and you also get access to credit union. And there's so much to learn. Even I don't know everything, but there is like unlimited possibilities and resources, and if we go online and read and learn and look, there is so much information that I simply cannot put into piece by piece to present it to everybody, right? But really, like if somebody wants to know about value of this membership, after learning about each of these organization and all kind of programs and funds, and how you can help and how they can help you, so basically it's worth it. Yeah, so this is actually one of the benefits of our membership. It's not only membership here at this level, it's like you get access to many levels.
Yeah.
That's good, Diana.
Yeah, and even mentioning Dave,
No,
you want to say
just said
something?
that's good. I like it. That's a nice.
Yeah, I like it as well, and it's a great reminder. We should actually have it in our website to let our members know what they're gaining, and by tapping even with the foundation, for example, we're having all these geos and all these conference where you actually have access to great speakers, which is actually something that is really valuable. And they always send you that invitation and telling you this is happening, and we are having this conference that is actually going to be open because you're a member. Go, Diana.
One more thing, and also you can be part of delegation. So now when we are all online, it's very easy to travel. So basically we travel online too. So we can be part of delegation. For example, UN has some meeting, and UNA USA group join that meeting as a part of our organization. So basically we're representing our organization at other organizations. So this is also a very good opportunity.
Also, something for young professionals that we had recently, which was actually really meaningful, is that we were able actually to partner with the UK chapter. So then UNA USA actually has presence also in Canada, in Germany, and then in UK. So then we actually had a consultation that it was a local consultation that we did with different members in the UK and members here in the US. So then again, it was really interesting to put together what are the challenges, how we can keep young professionals and young individuals more engaged and committed to the local activities and thinking globally, acting locally. So I want to end it up by a reminder of some of our programs. As I mentioned before, we're having our gala, which is actually one of our big events, but we are also having UN Women is going to have an event that's coming by the end of July, beginning of August. On August 22nd, we're also going to have our second coffee talk, which is going to be the League of Women Voters. So they're going to be talking about different information that we need to know now that elections are around the corner. So then this is a really relevant and important virtual coffee talk that we are going to have. And I think from now, it's everything from my part. So I don't know if anyone has anything else. Dave, do you have anything? Grady, Carl?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks.
Are we good? Are we ready for the weekend? Yes. Okay, guys. So we're ready for the weekend. So if that's it, so I'm adjourning right now today's meeting. And thank you so much for all you do and for giving your time to community. This means a lot to all of us. And you're on a good path. We really appreciate. Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, Izza.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Keep up the good work.
Bye.
Bye-bye. You like me, Rhett? You looking for the end meeting?
Yeah.
I don't see it either.
Oh, I
Oh.
can end it for you if you want. Just to remove participants.
No, I'm trying to find on Google where the end meeting thing is.
Right.
Oh, I was just seeing if there's anybody any questions at the end or something, or.
Leave call. Leave call on the very bottom next to the.
Oh, I see. It's the hang up. It's the hang up button. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a little different,
Cool.
right, than Zoom.
Yeah, I got to prepare for my separation of church and state meeting, Dave, but I'll touch base with you later.
Okay. Is that meeting, when's that, at 1?
2.
That's at 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I might try to check it out.
Tahil Sharma. Yeah, Tahil Sharma to speak on social justice.
I'll see you on that, and then we'll connect after.
Okay.
Dave, I'm still trying to figure out how to turn it off.
Oh, it's the red phone at the bottom, right next to the mute key.
Leave call. Yeah, it's not as
Good
obvious
seeing
as Zoom.
Okay. Hi, Red. I'm glad
Bye,
that
Diana.
you were here.
Hey, Diana, make sure that graphic that we've got that, huh? Make sure we have that graphic that you put.
That was a cool graphic.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
good
need
one.
to just edit just one small thing because it's renamed. So there was something that was renamed.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, thanks. All right, bye-bye, guys.
Cool. All right, see you, Dave.
Okay, Red. I'm really happy that you're here. I want to see you sometime online.
Yes,
Maybe
that's awesome.
even one-on-one, we can talk about IT.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Okay, see ya.
Mhm.